All right, welcome to the first official video for Cryptogenesis, the YouTube channel. My name is Nico van der Berg, and today is the 18th of November 2019. And we're going to speak about some magical internet money today. Right here on my screen, you can see that I am currently on Bitcoin on the weekly chart. And I'm going to show you three different charts, the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour chart, so that we can get a little bit of an idea of what to expect over the next couple of weeks in the Bitcoin industry and where potential price targets could be. So first off, let's go over to CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap today, you can see most of the coins are in a red except for Tether. So that usually means that money is flowing out of cryptos into a stable coin. You can see there's a few greens in between, but mostly red as I scroll down here. So that's very, very interesting to see. Also, if I go to Masario, .io, excuse me, Masario.io, you'll see that 24-hour volume on real top 10 real exchanges are very, very low. In fact, Bitcoin is below $200 million. And that usually shows that there's not a lot of trading volume at the moment. And price is very easily pushed to one direction and then pushed straight back. So when there's low volume like this, usually expect a big move coming sooner rather than later. So if we hop over to the weekly chart real quick for Bitcoin, I just want to make this clear that we are still inside of this falling channel, which typically is a little bit more of a bullish pattern than bearish. Right here, you've got this trend line running through here. This trend line is based on these 2 points right here, and we can see we've respected it for the third time. So for me, this is just a standard correction after our first extension to the upside. This falling channel does show that we are currently trending down. We have lower lows, and this does act as a local high. So this is a lower high. And if this does turn out, if I zoom into the chart a little bit here, if this does turn out to be the next low, this would be a higher low than our previous low, then we would like to see some higher highs for this trend to continue to the upside. Right now, my personal target is round about this $7,900 and about $8,000, more or less. This is my target in the short term. I think Bitcoin could easily push back down to this trend line. And you can see that we've got the middle of this falling channel lining up with that. We've got our horizontal support level lining up with that, as well as this diagonal support level, this trend line lining up with that. So this is an area of high confluence. And these are the pivot points in the market that I look at as possible trade setups. So does it mean that I just blindly trade this as soon as the price of Bitcoin hits this mark? It depends, and probably in this scenario, no. I would wait to see how the price reacts around the zone, and see if there's any possible trade entries around this area. So on the weekly chart, overall, I have to say that it is constructive for us to go a little bit of see a little bit of sideways movement. It is constructive for us to see a bit of a correction after this big push upwards. And these pushes, this is throughout the history of Bitcoin. We see the first initial push and then some sideways action, and then the next parabolic advance. The next parabolic advance is most likely going to break the all-time high for Bitcoin around about around about $19,658. It's a bit higher on some exchanges. I'm on Bitstamp's chart here, so it can be a bit higher or a bit lower on other exchanges. Throughout the history of Bitcoin, we see the first initial extension to the upside, and then a lot of sideways movement. And for a couple of months, we just go sideways, and then we see the next push up, the next parabolic advance to the upside. So I don't see any reason to be bearish on Bitcoin yet from a macro standpoint uh, until we do break this trend line to the downside and close below it. Then I'll switch my bias from being bullish to bearish on the macro term. Okay, looking at the shorter term, right now on Bitcoin, what is this? This is the 4 hour, excuse me. Let's go to the daily chart first. On the daily chart, same lines, just different candles. We can see that we've been rejected by this, which was previously the support for this descending triangle. We can see now that it acted as resistance, and price was clearly rejected from that area. I've got this green box pulled in here. This is something I like to call an optimal trading zone. This green box shows that this is an area of confluence where we could see price perhaps bounce a little bit to the upside. But with that being said, if I do see this price break below this green zone and come back and test it as resistance, I would be targeting a move still around this $7,900 mark. With that being said, I must say that the reason why I've got this as well is if I pull my Fibonacci retracement tool in here, we are currently sitting on the 61.8% retracement level, which is usually a pretty significant level for Bitcoin historically in a bull market. So this could be the bounce, and we could see Bitcoin break to the upside from here. Also, if you look really, really closely, I'll draw it in for you. It does look like Bitcoin is putting in a potential falling wedge pattern. If this is if this does prove to be a falling wedge pattern, then Bitcoin most likely will break to the upside. Falling wedge patterns, or whatever you would like to call it, it's really the same thing. A falling wedge pattern, or a triangle, or a pennant. People call it all kinds of different things, and some people say you have to be politically correct. And with the touches on the bottom and the touches on the top and all of this stuff, but it's really just a consolidation. Really, that's what it is. It's just an area of consolidation. But in this area of consolidation, we are seeing a little bit on the 4 hour a trending move. We are seeing lower lows and lower highs on the 4 hour, of course. So if I do go down to a 4 hour time frame, you'll see that we have been respecting this falling wedge, the top side and the bottom side of it. We've been bouncing off the bottom and bouncing off the top as well. And inside of this green zone, we are seeing some candlestick formations. We have seen a double bottom, which pushed us straight back up to the top of this trend line. We were rejected once again, and we almost came down to touch the bottom of this trend line of this falling wedge. Didn't quite get there. And we can see that Bitcoin is holding up support around the $8,412 right now. That's acting as support. If we do see price, even on a 4 hour chart, if we do see price close below that level, I will be targeting a move much, much lower. And this could go sideways from here as well. We could see a day or two of sideways movement before we see a break to the upside. Here's that green zone I was talking about. This will be our first resistance level. After that, if I go back to the daily chart really, really quick, what I would like to see is for Bitcoin to reverse this trend to the downside. I would like Bitcoin to break to the upside and close above $9,500, more or less. That would break this diagonal trend line running through here. And if we do break that to the upside and we close some daily candles above that, I'll be looking for this to act as support, and I'll be targeting moves higher and higher. But of course, I'll keep you guys up to date on that. But for now, in the zone that we are right now as a trader, for me, possible trades that I'm looking at right now is a break to the downside. If we do see the break to the downside, I will wait for a retest of this to be resistance, and possibly maybe this would be just a very short-term short to the downside, where possibly just really a scalp. If we do see the break to the upside, I would like to see the volume backing that break. A lot of times we see these formations happening, and by the time that we do break out, there's no volume really backing the trade. So what I would like to see, if you look at the volume bars here at the bottom of my screen, what I would like to see is some kind of break in this trend line. We are above the exponential moving average, which is this pink line right here on the volume. What I would like to see is some kind of big bar on the volume bar, accompanied with the break to the upside. That would tell me that we are most likely going to see prices go to this first zone of resistance, round about the 9,000 to $9,100 area. And then also I'd like to quickly show you on the weekly chart again. I'd like to just put on all of our major moving averages, something a little bit bearish in my opinion, and something, again, look at this. This is very interesting. On the weekly chart, we closed below our 21 moving average, which usually shows that we should come back down to the 50. So this orange moving average right here is the 50 week, in this case, moving average, and it does line up with this zone right here that I was talking about earlier. So if Bitcoin does break below this support, and it will become resistance, this is typically where I would be targeting a move to. Could it go much lower than that? Possibly, but I wouldn't want it to, because then we'll be breaking this trend line to the upside, to the downside, excuse me, and then I'll be switching from bullish to bearish, and I would say that Bitcoin is probably not in a bull market if that was to happen. But for now, I do have to say that I take market structures such as trend lines and horizontal lines a little bit more seriously than moving averages. I believe market structure should take precedence when it comes to technical analysis, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. And don't trade my opinion, by the way. I'm just sharing my trade ideas with you. So that would be a short-term target if we do see a push much lower. In fact, I do think that would be a very, very good place to buy Bitcoin, in my opinion, and I most probably will. So back here on the 4-hour chart, if I come back here and I do go back and switch on all the major moving averages, we can see that we are currently below all major moving averages on the 4-hour chart, as well as the daily chart. So what does this mean? Except for one, and I'll show it to you now. And I'm not sure where that lines up. Oh, look at that. It actually lines up with the $7,900 level. So this is an exponential moving average, this light blue one. And it also lines up with the same zone right around here. So that would be a major pivot for me. If we see Bitcoin in the next couple of weeks break below $7,900, it's probably going to go much lower than $7,900. In fact, I'll be targeting moves all the way back down to previous market structure. If I go back, zoom out a little bit, I'll be targeting moves to previous market structure around about the $5,800 level, $6,000 level. And possibly, if we don't get rejected from that, I'd be very bearish if we do break that pivot point. So this pivot point for me is something I'm going to keep an eye on for Bitcoin over the next couple of days. And if we do break it to the downside, very, very bearish. If we do get a strong rejection and a follow through with the volume on that, I would be looking for this to push back up to its 2019 all-time high, around about $14,000 in the short term. Well, macro term, not short term. Short term, I'd be targeting a move up to $9,500 to $10,000, 10,500. So 9.5 to 10.5 would be my short-term target if we do get a bounce here, a proper bounce, accompanied with the proper volume, of course. So below all major moving averages, except for that one exponential moving average, which is something I'm going to be looking at in the short term. So that's it really for this this quick analysis on Bitcoin. Please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. I'm going to be putting videos out like this every single day, or every second day. Depends on how the markets move. I mean, if the markets are going sideways, there's nothing really to update on. I'm mainly going to be discussing Bitcoin on this channel, and possible trading opportunities in Bitcoin, and just sharing my analysis with you. I've been an online trader for almost a decade now. And just to give you a little bit of background, I'm originally from the Forex market. Used to trade a lot of Forex and back in the day. Back in the day isn't that long ago. I'm actually 24 years old. And I've been fortunate enough to be very successful in trading and in the trading industry. So um, I will be seeing how this goes and how this flows, and update videos will be posted on this channel. So stay tuned. Please leave a comment down below if you think that I should handle a different coin as well. For now, I'm going to stick to Bitcoin, but if there's something that you would like me to look at, you're more than welcome to drop me a comment, and I'll see what I can do about that chart and see what my ideas are around that chart and where do I think it's going to go next. Remember, don't take anything I put on this channel as financial advice. Please read the disclaimer down below in the description, and have a lovely, lovely day and trade in the green. Thank you so much. Cheers. Bye.